Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Casual Sports Talk Podcast, Final Four March Madness Preview Edition. And now we got a gentleman right over here who's excited to know that Duke just got UConn'd. Here's Chris.
I had in my bracket that was more. I made 3 brackets. I make 3 brackets every year. I had Duke going all the way in 2 to the 3. I had Michigan in my other one, but yeah, that bracket's all Tom Full readout. It's not going to win my contest. So it doesn't matter who wins this. I just know that a little fun fact, 14 out of the last 18 winners have been number 1 seeds. So will it be 15 out of the last 19 with Arizona or Michigan winning it? We'll see.
But I will say one of those non-winners was not a number 1, was UConn.
Yeah, UConn. That was a couple years ago. So maybe UConn will do it again as a 2 seed. You know.
Yeah, UConn finds a way. I mean, I agree with when it was Red and Squidtard when they talked about it. UConn is the basketball school. You know, when I think of basketball dynasties, I don't think of Duke. I don't think of North Carolina. I don't think of Arizona. I think of UConn.
Yeah, there was a fun fact that UConn, when you combine the women's and the men's teams or tournaments for March Madness, since 2008, either UConn men's or women's, one of the two, have made it to the Final Four. Yeah, like I said, since 2008. So in the last 18 years, UConn, they have a great basketball program for both men's and women's. So I put a little bit of money on UConn winning it all this year once the Final Four stage was set, because they're the lowest. They have the lowest odds to win it all. So if UConn can win it, amazing. Let's go Huskies. I'm actually rooting for them.
Yes, and I will definitely be rooting for the UConn. I mean, I think it would be hilarious if Michigan chokes it, but I don't think they will. But we got some sad stories right here. We got to do some eulogies, 12-team eulogies. We salute the 12 teams that did not make it into the Final Four. And we'll start my favorite team, the team that I love, and I hook them, even though you hooked them down, the Texas Longhorns, losing to Purdue 77-79. At one point, they had a lead. I was talking my mad shit. Just not going to lie. I was talking some shit. But unfortunately, Purdue decided to run over Bevo, and we basically got eliminated right over here. So, Christopher, do you have any final thoughts on the Longhorns?
I definitely watched some of this game, but I don't really recall too much of it. I mean, 79-77, that's a close one. Let's see here. Let's go to box score. Okay, so Purdue was up by 4 at half. And then Texas outscored them 42-40 in the second half. I mean, a heck of a game. High scoring, close one. That's what you expect for the Sweet 16. But yeah, I don't really recall too much of it.
Yeah. And you know what?
Hats off to the Texas Longhorns making it. One, they won the play-in game, that Wednesday before the tournament even started. And then for them to reach the Sweet 16, hats off to the Longhorns.
Yeah, honestly, you know what? They made for the lowest seed, for the 11th seed to make it to the Sweet 16. Good for the Longhorns. I don't think anybody, we did have expectations. We did pick them to make it to the Sweet 16. Just saying, facts. I was hoping that they make the Elite 8 just so I can be like, look at that, Stradamus is right. That's why I picked my teams. And then unfortunately, Purdue just said boil up Bevo, and we lost. But I can't get mad at the Longhorns. They made it to the Sweet 16. This is probably the best season in a long time. There's been a couple seasons where they got a little bit better, but for them to be the 11th seed, to make the playing game, and to make it to the Sweet 16, and to beat some good teams like BYU and Gonzaga, good for them.
Right. Absolutely.
You cannot get mad if you're a Longhorns fan, on this season. You can't be disappointed in this season. They made it a lot farther than what their expectation was. I didn't even think they were going to make the March Madness tournament. And look at that. They made it to Sweet 16.
Yeah, you give a team a chance. and they could strike gold. I mean, obviously, gold winning the championship, but they still struck gold in some sort of fashion by making the tournament, making the Sweet 16. So, like I said, hats off the Longhorns. Let's hopefully they can continue this streak going into next season, and maybe they can make it run as well.
Hopefully next season it might be Ohio State versus Texas national championship in basketball.
In basketball, I mean, as an Ohio State fan, and like I said, I'm not biased when it comes to the Browns, the Guardians, the Cavs, the Blue Jackets, the Ohio State University Buckeyes. I'm more of a realist. I do not see the Buckeyes making it. I mean, look, they didn't even make it past the first round this year. It would be amazing if we could see the Texas Longhorns, Ohio State Buckeyes in the March Madness championship game. But realistically, that would be a huge long shot. Yeah, I mean, the Buckeyes did make it to the dance to March Madness for the first time in 4 years. So maybe their program is building up. Just like the Longhorns, seems like their program is building up. So yeah, you never know what the future holds. But realistically, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it's a disappointment. But you know what? I gotta say it. Unfortunately, Bevo got boiled up by the Boilermakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first one, and we're down to one, but we got 11 more to go. And the next one, we got to talk about them Suey Pigs. Arkansas always feels like they always do good in basketball, but they decisively got lost by the Arizona. We realized that, I mean, nobody's surprised in this game. Nobody was surprised that Arkansas got eliminated. You're not surprised. I'm not surprised. Your mother's not surprised. You know, my casual mom knew that Arizona, everybody and their mother knew that Arizona was going to beat Arkansas in this game.
Yeah, I mean, 21-point loss. And we're seeing right here, I mean, Arkansas beat the 13th seed Hawaii. And then High Point, upset, beat 5 seed Wisconsin. So Arkansas had a pretty easy road to the Sweet 16. So then, you win 2 easy games. Sorry, Hawaii and High Point, but I mean, you guys are a little bit lesser valued college basketball wise than Arkansas. But then, yeah, you beat the 13th seed and the 12th seed, and then you play the number 1 seed Arizona, arguably the best team in the nation. Obviously, you have Duke, but arguably the best team in the nation as of right now. Yeah, like I said, beating 2 low seeds, then playing a 1 seed. It definitely showed when you give up 109 points. And that's not even in overtime. That's in regulation, all 40 minutes. Go behind 109 points and lose by 21. I read a couple things that Arkansas was a good team, but apparently not. So, sorry, Razorbacks.
Yeah. I mean, as someone that is a Longhorns fan and has to hate on the Razorbacks, I mean, even though my dad always jokes, I always joke that I was like, I want to go to Arkansas to go to college. And he's like, I will not wear those Piggly Wiggly hats. But you know what? I think for Arkansas, this is a good season for them. They made it this far. They have been at least consistent. I will say that. For their basketball program, they have at least been consistent. Honestly, their basketball program is a lot better than their football program. Hot take.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, yeah, I mean, I haven't really studied the Razorbacks basketball team. Don't really follow their football program too much, but yeah, basketball is better than football for Arkansas University or University of Arkansas, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, good for them. Unfortunately, you got to play against a number 1, like literally one of the 2 best schools in the country. And what are you going to expect? I mean, you're not going to beat that. When you got a juggernaut like Arizona, you're not going to beat them.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, not like this is a joke. LeBron James's son is on Arizona. I don't think he starts. But I was going to say, yeah, it's I don't even know his name. Obviously, you have Bronny Jr., who's in the NBA, and then I forgot this guy, LeBron's other son's name. But yeah,
LeBron's other son is in Arizona?
Yeah, he has. I think he's on a little scholarship. I'm not sure if it's a full ride, but yeah, he plays for the Arizona Wildcats.
Oh my god! And he's not even a starter?
I could guarantee you he does not start. Let's see if he any points this game. Yeah, no, he's not. He didn't even play.
What?
Yeah, I don't even know his name. Yeah, so let's see. Let's see the roster. Let's see. Come on.
Let's
James. Yeah, okay, Bryce James. Yeah, he's a 6'5" guard. Yeah, he didn't play this game. So he's
no points.
not looking like his father.
No, I mean it's kind of. I mean it's very rare. I will always say this: it's very rare for like the father to be like elite athlete and then the son to be elite athlete. It's like super duper rare. I'm trying to think. Like Gordie Howe's son made it to the Hall of Fames, but that's it. If I can think about it.
I'm not sure if Del Curry, basketball player. Then you have Steph Curry, NBA as well. I'm not sure if Del Curry's in the.
Yeah, and I guess you could say like Patrick Mahomes' dad was a good baseball player.
True.
Yeah, I think that's the only two things I can think of. It's like a father. Well, I guess the Mannings.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't think of that one.
Yeah, the Mannings. His father made the NFL. You know what I mean? And then we'll see how his nephew does. You know what I mean? Archie national championship. Let's go. Give me my hope. Let me.
Archie, he plays for the Longhorns, right?
Yes, he does. He plays for Hook'em Horns Nation.
Hook'em Horns.
Christopher. Just to remember that. He supports the glory and greatness of Longhorn Nation.
Yeah, I think we're ready for the next team. I don't think we have more to say about the Arizona or the Arkansas Razorbacks. Sorry, Razorback country. Maybe next season.
Maybe next season in this one, indeed. But unfortunately for the Arkansas Sweetbags, unfortunately, Arizona basically did deliverance to them. And they said, I want you to squeal, Arkansas, because you're about to lose. Anyway, we got the next one. We got what happened to my Cougars. My dad's alma mater, the Houston Cougars.
Oh, the Houston Cougars, man. Yeah, I mean,
that
was probably
10 points. They should have won this game. They were going to get their revenge. Like, look at this. The Gators are out. They should have made a postseason. But I guess apparently Squidtar was right. Apparently Houston was like, man, Florida literally just took a vacation to go home. Maybe Houston decided, man, we should be like Florida and just go on vacation now instead of to a March Madness tournament. But losing 65-55 right over there to Illinois. I know Illinois is a good team, but this honestly, it feels like a choke job right now for Houston.
I didn't watch the game, but looking at these stats, Houston only went to the free throw line twice, and like the entire game, 2 free throws the entire game, and then Illinois went to the free throw line 21 times. So I don't know if it was just bad calling by the referees, or maybe Illinois was just playing good defense and not fouling them. But that's a clear thing right there. If Houston would have got 19 more free throws, so they would have had 21 free throws just as Illinois did, Houston wins that game. That's it right there. I mean, also Houston only shot 28% from the 3-point line, whereas Illinois with 39%. Houston's shooting was not as great as it should have been. Illinois just outplayed them, and clearly the scoreboard shows it. Won by 10, and Illinois is in the Final Four against second-ranked UConn. So good job, Illinois, third seed going to the Final Four. Good job.
I mean, like this has been a history of choking right over here, Houston. Last year, they literally had 36 minutes where they were in the lead in this game against Florida. They could have won the national championship. And in this game, like, should I hate to say it? I'm not feeling good right now. I'm like choking, just like Houston in the March Madness tournament.
See, you're a little bit more negative towards the Cougars of Houston. I'm more optimistic about them. I like what they're doing. They made it to the championship last year. They beat Duke in the Elite Eight last year to make it, in the Final Four to make it to the championship. So we can talk about Duke later, but Duke's more of a choke artist than Houston. Houston, they made it to the Elite Eight. I'm not sure how many years in a row, but you could always count on them to make it to at least the Elite Eight. Yeah, we were riding high on them, I believe, in our bracket to make it to the Final Four, if not the championship. But yeah, I mean, Houston's a tough team. So yeah, I think Houston's a tough team. Illinois is a tough team. Yeah.
This has to be a disappointing season if you're a Cougars fan because, like I said, you made it to the finals and then you just lay an egg against Illinois. Granted, Illinois is a good basketball team, but still, and good for job for them. But it's still like it feels bad because they only got 65 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they only scored 55, right? I mean, but it's what happens when you have a good defensive, two good defensive teams. I'm not sure if there are two good defensive teams, but this game was pretty much all defense, and Illinois shot the ball better than Houston. And yeah, when the team is going to be shooting the ball better, that team's more than likely going to be winning the game.
Yeah, and it's also not fun when it's like, man, they have the lowest scoring of anyone in the Sweet 16 right now, points wise.
Yeah.
It's like not good. Like the only closest one is 62 by Iowa. And it's like, this does not feel good. If you are Cougars fan, this has been disappointing of a Cougar season for you.
They'll be back next year. Like I said, you can almost guarantee Houston making it to the Elite Eight. I mean, when I make my brackets next year, unless I don't even know what Houston was this year record wise. Let's see. Houston was 30-7 overall.
Sorry, 30-7. Sorry.
Yeah, 30-7 overall record. I can imagine, Houston's a predominantly, basketball school. They'll be back next year in my brackets. I will definitely put Houston make it to the Elite Eight, if not the Final Four. So yeah, the Cougars will bounce back.
Yeah. They just, and you know what? Unfortunately for the Cougars, midnight struck, and then they became the Houston Cats. Meow, meow.
Yeah, the Houston Kittens.
Kittens. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. We just missed our postseason. Meow. No Elite Eight for you.
All right, so are we going to talk about the matchup that probably not a lot of people had in their brackets?
We're talking about another one. Iowa versus Nebraska. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Yes, we'll do the eulogy on the Cornhuskers. Yes, this is the farthest that Nebraska's ever did it, but unfortunately, Iowa beat them 77-71 right over here. Christopher, do you have any final thoughts on the Cornhuskers? Their first time they ever won a March Madness tournament and making it to the Sweet 16 for the first time in program history in basketball.
This was the battle of the Midwest, battle of the Big Ten, battle of two states that produce a lot of corn. Obviously, you got the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Like I said, I could almost guarantee that less than 5% of the nation, if not less than 1% of the nation, had this matchup going into the Sweet 16 for the South bracket.
We did not have this one.
Yeah, I mean, we had Florida winning it all.
Don't get me started on that one. That was an embarrassment. We did have Nebraska. To be fair, we did have Nebraska versus Florida.
Nice. Nebraska, they're a 4 seed. But yeah, for a 4 seed to lose to Iowa, and Iowa making it to the Elite Eight. Hats off to Nebraska being a 4 seed. I know they had a big heater to start the season. Great job winning their first game and then winning, make it to the Sweet 16.
They made it decently far. They were 28-7. That's a good record. Like I said, they did really well. You can't get mad at this one. I mean, their best person had 25 points right over there. There's only 2 people that made it that had more than 10 points. I mean, Iowa had more, to be fair. Like they had 3-4 players. So like you can't get mad if you're a Cornhusker because, like I said, their football program is ass. But I mean, let's be honest. They still act. Okay. This is gonna be my hot take. Like Nebraska fans talk so much shit.
Do they?
And they talk about the 90s. They are the Dallas Cowboys of college football. What the fuck have you been done since the last 30 years?
Yeah.
Just saying. I don't care you won national championship in the 90s. You haven't done shit in the fucking in this millennium.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Facts.
like you said, they're not a highly ranked football program, so maybe their basketball program will do it again next year. Come out of the Big Ten. I just think it was cool. We had a matchup for the Sweet 16 with Big Ten, and then the next round when Iowa made it, they played Illinois, another Big Ten matchup in the Elite Eight. So it kind of shows that maybe the Big Ten is a powerhouse when it comes to basketball.
I mean, yeah, that's always the fun part. People talk about like football. Oh, we're the powerhouse, but it's like basketball is always like maybe the Big Ten is definitely that one. I mean,
yeah, usually for basketball, typically it's the ACC. You got Florida.
There was a great Squidtard video, and I sent it to you guys when it was like the ACC choking, and then one of the coaches was like, "We have the money." It was just every ACC team like choking in like the regular season, in the dance. It was like it's almost as hilarious as Lane Kiffin said. We're different leagues. We're different leagues in that one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, maybe Nebraska will be back next year, and like I mentioned, hats off to them. Good run that they had for the season.
Yeah, you know what I always say, good for you, Nebraska. You made it to you made it to the tournament. You made it to the Sweet 16. Hopefully, this is a tradition that you keep on giving, and not just a one and done. So, hats off to you. My microphone hacks off to you, Nebraska Cornhuskers, right over there. And unfortunately for Nebraska, they just ran out of corn. There's no more corn left. We had a crop failure.
Yeah. All right. What's the next matchup we're gonna be talking about here?
Yes, we're gonna talk about the Friday games in order right over here, and we're gonna start out with St. John, where last year they were eliminated second round, but this time it was a close game. I thought they were gonna beat Duke. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, is Duke gonna win this game? Is Duke gonna choke this game? Am I gonna LOL right over here when they lose to St. John? But unfortunately, St. John couldn't do it. They lost 75-80 right over here. Honestly, the parochial school that has the farthest parochial school that made it this far in the March Madness tournament. Christopher, do you have any thoughts on St. John losing this game?
Yes, I mean I watched this game. St. John had total control of the first half. I know they're only up by 1 point, 40-39 after the first 20 minutes of play. So like I said, I had Duke winning it all into my brackets, and I was actually scared that Duke was going to lose this game. St. John's looked like they had it. Then Duke, I'm not going to say they really pulled away, even though they did. When I say a team's going to pull away, that means like they're like, they win by 10 or 15. I know this was only a 5-point margin of victory, but Duke was able to handle it. Obviously, they weren't able to handle it next round, but we'll talk about it eventually. St. John's, good job. Man, I forgot who their head coach is.
It's the guy from Louisville. It's the Louisville coach.
We talked about this last week too. It's not Calipari. Patino. There we go.
Yeah, he was
Rick Pitino,
where he formally won a national championship for Louisville, but I guess they revoked it.
Yeah. St. John's had the second best record in was it in the ACC? I'm sorry, the big. They're from the Big East. My apologies. I was looking at ACC and the Big East.
Wait a minute, don't they have the money?
St. John's had the best record in the Big East, then UConn, then Villanova. But yeah, St. John's, they'll be back. I can expect them, just like Houston. I can expect St. John's to be in the Sweet 16 next year.
And I always give credit to the coach. I think he's done a great renaissance from his career from Louisville to now. And look at this. He made it farther than what Louisville did. Just saying. Facts.
Right.
You can't get mad if you're St. John's right now over here. Like, you did get eliminated last time, but you improved this time. You made it from 32 to the Sweet 16, so maybe St. John can maybe win a national championship.
And I definitely misspoke earlier. I said Florida was in the ACC. Florida's in the SEC. ACC got teams like Duke, Virginia. We know that. North Carolina, Clemson, Louisville.
How did you screw that up? I always
right. Because I don't pay attention.
But you know what the crazy part was? I never corrected you.
Did you know Florida was in the SEC?
I always knew they were SEC, and I never even corrected you.
You should have corrected me.
With egg on your face and egg on my face right now.
Yeah, right.
We got the double egg. We just got smacked right over here. But unfortunately, do we have any final thoughts on St. John?
Nah, the Red Storm will be back.
Yes, unfortunately for St. John, the patron saints decided they got corrupted by the Devils.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
like
the Devils versus the interparochial school, man, you know.
it's like, oh no, is this also sacrilegious, Chris? I know we're both Catholic, but that the Devils beat a patron saint in
I
basketball.
mean, that was last Friday. Imagine if it happened tomorrow, Good Friday.
Oh no.
But hey, if this matchup was tomorrow on Good Friday, yeah, I'd probably say St. John's would win, but oh well.
Unfortunately, this side, yes. Unfortunately, the Devil won this one on this game. But we got the other one. We got to talk about Bama absolutely losing to Michigan, 77
Wait,
to
what?
90.
Bama? Oh, I thought we were gonna stick with the East bracket, Michigan State versus UConn. But yeah,
No, I'm going by. To be fair, Christopher, I'm going by like the times when the game ended. So
okay.
yeah, so that was the two games that ended right over there. So Bama.
Yeah, I thought the Tide of Alabama were going to put a better fight. Obviously, it was a 2-point game in favor of Alabama at halftime, but then Michigan completely pulled away and took care of the second half. 49-47 at half in favor of Bama, and then Michigan had a 43-28. They outscored Alabama by 15 points in the second half. So yeah, it just shows the true colors of Michigan, how strong of a team they are. And maybe Alabama just wasn't ready to play a number one seed.
Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty recent. I feel like Bama in the March Madness tournament, because like a couple years ago, they made it to the Final Four. They have been recently good. I mean, it's good for them. They made it to the Sweet 16. Like, I can't get mad at that. And you played against a tough Michigan opponent. Let's be honest.
I know for a fact in one of my brackets I took Alabama over Michigan because I read a couple places that Alabama, they've been, and like you said, sir, they reached the Final Four. I don't know if it was not last year. It's probably the year before. Alabama's they've been on a good hot streak. So like I said with Houston, like I said with St. John's, I expect Alabama to reach Sweet 16, possibly the Elite Eight. If not, maybe the Final Four next year. Yeah, they'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get mad at you know what? If you're a Bama fan, like you can't get mad at that. And you played against a good Michigan school. They made it this far.
Yeah, and you always mention, well, you've been mentioning in this podcast about football and basketball, and Bama has a great football program. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're now starting to have a good basketball program, which was I feel like nobody talked about Bama being a good basketball program. And now I feel like the NIL era has probably changed the basketball. You have teams like Alabama's like, okay, you're going to help us with our football program. How about help us with our basketball program? Just saying. Facts. Yeah. So you can't get mad if you're Bama. Like, I feel like that this was at least a decent. They've been competitive. They've been like the same so far. They've been like consistent. And consistency is always a good thing right over here if you're like in sports. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe Bama can do really well, but I mean, unfortunately, and I gotta say it, Christopher, Alabama just got rolled Tide by themselves. Rolled Tide out of the tournament.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. And we got to talk about one Michigan team that can do victory. We got to talk about another Michigan team that cannot win a victory right over here. The Sparties losing to UConn 63-67. Man, they made it to the Elite Eight last year. Everyone loves about Izzo, but this year they only made Sweet 16. So,
yeah, I mean, Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans, it's always a team that you can guarantee they're going to make it out of the first round, more than likely make it out of the second round. And then the Sweet 16 Elite Eight, that gives them kind of a, they're not going to move past it. So, yeah, based on that trend, I'm not even sure last time Michigan State was in a championship game, but my bracket next year, I won't have Michigan State going. I mean, I'll have them winning the round of 32. I'll have them making it past. Like I said, they'll win the first round, the second round, and then I'll really have to see who I have it matched up in next year's Sweet 16. But I mean, yeah, we got UConn in the Final Four, so that means obviously Michigan State played against a tough UConn team. We've been mentioning about football, but there's a couple other sports in the college world, and that's hockey. So UConn has a great hockey program. Michigan State is number one in hockey, and they're in their playoffs. And actually, so this game was on Friday. It was on Thursday that Michigan State and UConn played. Michigan State won that hockey game, so maybe this was kind of like revenge. UConn won Michigan State won the hockey game. UConn won the basketball game, and yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is actually the tradition continues. It's been now 5 years now since the last time Michigan State has not made the Final Four. I know, like it was kind of crazy. I listened to the podcast last year, just kind of look at our eulogy for the Sparties, and apparently last year it was the first time that no freshman senior in the Michigan State basketball team has made it to the Final Four, and now continues onwards. But I mean, I love Coach Izzo. Like you gotta love Coach Izzo. You can't get mad at Coach Izzo. Like I said, I think people that are trying to I don't think anybody in the Sparties want to get rid of Coach Izzo. Like he is beloved in Sparty land.
Yeah. There was I forgot what opening coaching spot it was for. I don't think it was for the NBA. I think it might have been for the WNBA, but I don't know if it was the April Fool's thing I saw, but Izzo had an idea about going to the WNBA. I'm like, you're going to be a coach for the WNBA. Like, that had been an April Fool's joke because, obviously money persuades people. There's no way Izzo's going to coach a WNBA team. A lot less money involved there. But, yeah, well, you're saying, so everyone loves Coach Izzo. I mean, love's a strong word. I like Coach Izzo. I would love for him to be a coach at the Ohio State University for their basketball program. But
I would kill to have Coach Izzo. Like,
yeah, right.
You know how much money? You know how much we would kill to have? It's like the Browns fans when as much as I shit on Tomlin, you know how much you would kill, Christopher, to have Mike Tomlin as your Browns head coach.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we even talked about it on one of the podcasts. Yeah, I would like Mike Tomlin as a Browns head coach, but oh well. I'm sure the Green and White Nation up in was it East Lansing, Michigan, where Michigan State is. I'm sure their fan base, they love Izzo. I enjoy him because, like I said, he's always guaranteed for a first round victory in March Madness and typically a second round victory. It's that third round that really gets to him. So yeah, good job, Michigan State. Definitely see you next year in the March Madness for sure.
Yeah, there's always guaranteed. It's like death taxes and Michigan State making a March Madness tournament. Right. Like those are 3 guarantees. And unlike their football program, who's ass. Let's be honest, they were dog shit.
Hey, but they got a great hockey program. So football's not there, but their hockey program is right up there.
Let's be honest. I know we're Buckeyes fans, Christopher. Those are guaranteed bye weeks for us when we play against the Sparties.
Yeah, I remember. I forgot what year it was, but a couple of years ago, Michigan State actually had a pretty good football program. But
yeah, and then their head coach left, and now he's gone. And then it's always funny when I always have my friends that are Michigan State fans, and I want to show them a photo of their previous coach. That's not Mel Tucker before that, and I want to show them and I say, "Do you miss this man yet? Do you miss him? Do you miss this man?" Man, are you telling me I'm a troll, Christopher?
Yeah, you could be, Sue. Yeah.
Are you telling me I'm just like an A-level troll? I'm like real life trolls. I will troll and I will low on the Sparty. But you know what? The Sparties, you've always been consistent. You always make the tournament.
Like we said, consistency is key. And Michigan State
put my bank account money that they would guarantee to be in the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, would you put all your bank account money that the Sparties will make the tournament next year?
Yeah, next year, 100%. I would put every penny. Yeah.
I would do that too. But unfortunately for the Sparties, UConn just mauled them Sparties right now, and they just fell off the cliff.
Right.
Just like in 300. This is not Sparta.
This is not Sparta. That's great.
Yeah. But now we got to talk about the final Sweet 16 game right over here. And it's Tennessee, the Volunteers, beating up on the Hawkeyes of Iowa State. 76-62. Not really a close game, not decisive, but we got to do a eulogy on the Cyclones.
Probably the biggest upset in this entire round. I mean, Iowa State was highly rated. A lot of people had Iowa State going to obviously the Elite Eight, but a lot of people had them going to the Final Four. And I'm just not talking about my friends. I'm talking about ESPN experts when they filled out their brackets. Iowa State is a tough team to handle, but Tennessee did it. They did the right things, but then Tennessee didn't show up the next round when they lost at 33 points to the Wolverines of the University of Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, I are they like the weakest of the Sweet 16 that made it to Sweet 16 right now?
What's that?
Are they the weakest team that made it to Sweet 16? I don't. Well, is Houston?
Texas. I mean, I would say.
I guess you could put Texas, but Texas had a lead against Purdue, and Purdue's a good basketball program.
Oh, we're talking about like their game and their matchup and how their game went.
It's them in Houston.
I mean, you're saying was Iowa State the weakest team in this the Sweet 16? No way. I mean, no way. What team did we just talk about that got blown out by 21? Yeah, Arkansas. No way was Iowa State the weakest. I think it was probably just an off day for Iowa State. Just like every team has their off days. Obviously, you got to prepare. Well, you can't really prepare more if you have an off day. Just how the ball rolls, if it's going in the hoop, if it's going out of bounds, just how it works out. Tough break for the Cyclones of Iowa State.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably put it in my hot take. I don't think Iowa's gonna make the Sweet 16 next year. Let's put it right there.
I mean, we've been talking about other sports. Iowa State. I'm thinking of Arizona State, where Cam Scadaboo went. So Iowa State they don't really have much of any other sports going for them. So basketball is their predominant sport. I would. I mean, not about Sweet 16, but Iowa State, they'll be back for sure. They'll be in the tournament next year. They'll make it past the first round. They'll probably make it past the second round. Then that's that Sweet 16 matchup. Whoever they're playing, you got to really pay attention to it because this was, and like I said, this was probably the biggest upset this year's Sweet 16. Tennessee Volunteers beating Iowa State by 14 points.
Yeah, but I guess we'll have to probably say, fortunately for the Iowa State Hawkeyes. No, wait a minute. The Cyclones. Unfortunately, it got cleared. There's no snow. There's no cyclones today.
Yeah.
The weather just cleared up. There's no more clouds to left of the Cyclones. Right. And now we got we got done with the Sweet 16. Now we got the Elite 8. And we're going to talk about the first team that got booted out. And that is the Boilermakers of Purdue getting clobbered by Arizona 79-64. What do you think about the Purdue Boilermakers boiler themselves out of the tournament?
I mean, looking at it, all their 4 Elite 8 games, obviously. There was only one pretty good matchup. The other 3 were not, and this is one of the 3 that was not a good matchup. 15-point victory for the Wildcats. I mean, even the first half was all Boilermakers. So I guess the end result is what matters in my opinion. A loss is a loss. The Boilermakers had an L. Purdue had them in the first half. They were winning by 7. This is a game I didn't really pay attention to. I had other things going on last Saturday. If this game was indeed on Saturday or Sunday or Monday, I don't know. I don't know what day it was on. But Purdue just let it get away. Purdue only scored 26 points in that second half and gave up 48. That's never a good
That's
one.
not good. That's ugly. How do you do that? I mean, granted, this is a good Arizona school, so I can't get mad because it's not like this is the best Arizona school in like 25 years right now. I mean, that's not saying much because it's like the first time in 25 years they made it to the Final Four. But yeah, Purdue kind of like choked that game away. And how are you?
And hats off to Braden Smith, the guard for the Boilermakers. One heck of a career. He is the all-time assist leader for NCAA Division I basketball. Guard, 6-foot guard for the Purdue Boilermakers. Hats off to Braden Smith. Setting records.
Is this his final year?
Yeah. He definitely has to be a 4th year.
Oh yeah,
he's
a
he's a
senior.
senior. I'm seeing it right here. Yeah, if he's going to set that record in his junior year, oh, that'd be crazy. But yeah, you don't get too many people doing that this day and age. Yeah,
Wait a
good
minute,
job for
you're
Braden
not going to
Smith.
be like Cam Warden and just like stay for another year and then go for like
Yeah,
6 years.
those people that play like college football, college basketball, probably people who do college baseball that stay for like 6 or 7 years because they're eligible. No.
Hey, it's like that Tennessee player that was eligible. Like they're suing the courts and they're like, "Hey, I should play one more year."
Oh, is that the Ole Miss guy? Oh,
Yes.
why can't I think of his name? Oh man. Oh well. But
They literally had to go to like the district court of like
and they're allowing him to play. Oh, I can't think of his name. Oh well. Ole Miss will be good next year because I don't know if it's his 7th or 8th year in college.
Yeah, but I mean Purdue's always going to be good. I mean, it's been an interesting last 4 years because they had that embarrassing losing to the 16 seed, which I did laugh. But then they made it to the Final Four, made it to the finals a couple years. Did okay, but they at least been consistent. I'll give them a lot of credit. I don't think they need to change anything. They just maybe need to tweak some things here and there. And maybe they can be that one. I mean, it does suck that they're the Big Ten champions. And unfortunately, they lost. But I can't get mad at the Boilermakers.
Yeah, they'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah. Unfortunately for the Boilermakers, the steam ran out. There's no more Boilers.
Well said. Well said.
Well said. Indeed, right there. And then we got to talk about one Hawkeye going down. We got to talk about the other Iowa going down. Iowa losing to Illinois 59-71. Another Cinderella team, I feel like. How do you feel about this, Christopher?
Yeah, I mean this is just like the Purdue game. Iowa had a lead at half, and then they just let their opponent, the Illinois Fighting Illini, just overcome them in the second half. Iowa got outscored by 16 points in the second half. So yeah, maybe Illinois is obviously Illinois going to the Final Four, true contender. Yeah, I mean the big thing is Iowa outscored them on the 3-point arch. They had 8 more 3-pointers. That's a 24-point difference. So what happened with Iowa? Why did they fall apart in that second half? I don't know.
I mean, they kind of choked it, and unfortunately, it's like it sucks. Like this is like the best Iowa school in like a really long time. I feel like Iowa's never made it far in the March Madness tournament.
Yeah.
That's a good ChatGPT question. I should ask that. Like, when's last time they made the Final Four? Last time Iowa made the Final Four. Iowa, because they always been like made Final Four. Let's see. Oh, they did make it. Oh, I should say what for men's. I should say for men's. This is a good question right over here that we are as not hack frauds right over here. 1980 is the last time they made the Final Four for men's. According to ChatGPT.
What year was that, Stu?
1980.
Wow, it's been a while. Yeah, I mean, I would not put money on it. I would not put money on Iowa, the Hawkeyes, going to the Final Four next year. I probably wouldn't put them going to the Elite Eight.
I don't think we're going to do a eulogy for the Iowa next year. That is my that is.
You don't think they're going to make March Madness? Wow, all right, Stu.
No, I mean I think they'll make March Madness, but I think they'll be irrelevant. That I don't.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Eulogy on Iowa.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I feel like that's my prediction right over here, and I think that's what's going to happen for the Hawkeyes right here.
Yeah,
facts, Christopher. Facts are facts, Christopher. And you know what? You can disagree with my opinion, but my opinion is still always right.
I mean, I think we had the same opinion there that I was not going to go far next year.
It's the Casual Agreeable podcast right now.
Speaking of teams that aren't going to go far next year, are we going to jump to Michigan versus Tennessee?
Yes, we're going to talk about the Volunteers right over here.
Because I don't see Tennessee Volunteers going far next year. I think this might have been, unless their basketball program is building up, like we talked about Texas building up. I think this was just a magical run for them, and the magic obviously is going to die out. I don't think the magic will be with them next year. I could be wrong. My opinion could be completely out of this norm, but yeah, Michigan Wolverines killed and smacked around the Volunteers
decisively.
It was a 22-point deficit at half, 48-26 in favor of the Wolverines. And then another blowout in the second half with the Wolverines, taking control the entire way. Sorry, Tennessee. And that's just the way March Madness is, because what I was about to say is there are way more teams that should have been there instead of the Volunteers. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way March Madness works. Tennessee, they beat the teams they needed to reach the Elite Eight. But like I said, there should have been other teams instead of Tennessee playing Michigan.
Yeah, but you know what? I can't get mad at Tennessee. You know what? They had a good year. They went 15-12. I mean, I'm sorry, 25-12. They made the postseason. They made it far. I don't feel like they ever really make it to the Final Four. I don't feel like when I think of the Volunteers, I don't think of them as like a basketball program.
Yeah, I mean, they have a good football program, 100%. And I know they have a great softball program. They're always top 25 team, if not a top 10 team for college softball. But yeah, like you said, Sue, we don't always think about the Volunteers as a basketball program. So like I said, maybe they'll not be relevant next year, or maybe they're turning the tides and getting more NIL money to get more basketball players for next season. We'll see.
Yeah, and also I will say that they never made it to the Final Four in their whole program history. They have made it to Elite Eight. So
okay, so pretty much, if Tennessee's makes it to March Madness, they make it to the big dance next year. Do not have them going to Elite Eight, because that's where the door closes.
Yeah, this is literally like their mark right over here. And plus, you played against a really tough Michigan program. I can't get mad. Good for them, but still, it's like this is kind of their ceiling right now. I don't think they're ever going to make a Final Four.
I would not put any money on Tennessee going to the Final Four anytime soon.
2027, you're not going to put Tennessee March Madness inaccurate bracket edition?
Inaccurate bracket? Yeah, I'll do that.
It was Howard versus Arkansas Final 8.
Heck yeah.
Final Four basketball. We chose craziness right over here. But do you have any final thoughts on the Volunteers?
Yeah, I don't really have any final thoughts really on 3 of the 4 Elite Eight matchups, because majority of them were blowouts, and this was the biggest blowout of the Elite Eight. Like I said, Michigan rolled all over them. This next one, not a blowout, shocker. A shot heard around the world. This Elite Eight matchup was crazy. Duke had it in the palm of our hands.
Yeah, Duke literally had a 15-point lead, but also I will say for the Volunteers, they volunteered themselves out of the tournament. But how?
I think at one point Duke was up by 19. Actually, UConn came back. I thought the game was over. UConn just started crawling on. Yeah, maybe it was 15. But
you know what the crazy part was? Duke fans were talking mad shit about North Carolina fans because they're rivals. They're like, oh, you blew a fucking 19-point lead. Oh, you're fucking frauds. North Carolina frauds. What do we say to teams that blow a 15-point lead? Does it start with an F?
Frauds.
Does it start with frauds?
Frauds, failures, something of that nature,
Like
when
this is the biggest...
There's 4 number 1 seeds in a bracket, and then I forgot what the very number 1 seed is called, but Duke was the best number 1 seed coming into this tournament. Like I said, 2 of my 3 brackets, I had Duke winning it all. A lot of people had Duke winning it all. It seems like Duke just likes to choke it away. I'm not sure the last year they won it.
They did make the Final Four last year. I think.
When they had Cooper Flagg, who was the number 1 overall draft pick. But I hate to say it. No matter how great of a team Duke has next year, I would not put money on Duke winning it. I don't think I'll have them. I'll have them going to the Final Four maybe definitely to the Elite Eight, but I would not have them in my championship game or even winning it. So sorry, dude.
They just like to choke, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And I figured, like we don't have a lot of clips here in this podcast, but we need to show the clip of them. They should have done
The
a
biggest
proper way
face
in this.
palm.
Yeah, the space palm right over here. This is the play that they should have done better right over here. And I figured I'd want to send it to you this, Christopher. And you've seen this play.
Oh, I've watched it several times. Broke my heart.
Better than this guy. Get it into Boozer. Back for Sar. Ahead. Boozer.
Oh.
Deflected and stolen by Mullins. Caravan, 2 seconds. Mullins tosses it out. Oh! It's good. It's good. UConn goes in front.
That was a beautiful. And also their parents were not paying attention. And it's like, what? Our son just scored the 3.
Yeah, I don't think Duke has any other sports they're really relevant in. I know the football, Duke is starting to climb up the ladder. But yeah, everyone knows Duke basketball. Duke has to be good year in, year out. And yeah, that's a shot to the heart right there.
That's a shot. That guy could have done nothing. He could have just stood there. He could have just hold the ball and stood there and just get the penalties. But they decided to.
So I know we're Casual Sports Talk podcast, but even I know in college basketball, you have 10 seconds to make it over the half court before there's a violation. And there was exactly 10 seconds on the clock. So, yeah, like you said, sir, he easily could just held on the ball. He could have got fouled. If he gets fouled, he makes 1 or 2 of the free throws, they win. Game over. Duke in the Final Four against Illinois. But maybe that's in a parallel universe because it's not in this one.
Yeah, that should have been the parallel. So I always think of the Emperor Lemon when they did the Art of the Choke, and I think of the 1 through 7. Is this the 7? Is this the, ripping your soul out? Like, it's not even ha funny. It's like, holy shit, that I feel bad. Kind of like, is this the equivalent of the punt? I'm sad that Douglas is not here, but that Michigan State game in 2015, this is the equivalent of like that type of choke where you were guaranteed to win?
I mean, like I said, I Duke into my 3 brackets. Even I was a little heartbroken. I cannot imagine what Duke fans went through. Duke parents, anyone who is a fan of Duke, that is a shot to the heart. That is bone crunching. Oh my goodness! Like, I'd almost rather lose by 10 points, get somewhat blown out, than lose on a 3-point, or then lose in those series events that happen. A bad pass, a turnover, and then it nails a 3 with 0.3 seconds left on the clock. Oh man, terrible, terrible, terrible.
It's just like, I always got to think about this, Christopher. This guy could win the Nobel Peace Prize. He could cure cancer. He could be like the next Mozart. But we're still going to think about, if you're a Duke fan or a basketball fan, you're going to probably remember this kid be like, hey, aren't you that kid that fucked up that game against UConn?
I'm sure Boozer will be. I know his brother will be in the NBA. I'm not sure if he'll be in the NBA, but I'm not sure that he'll have to worry about people coming up to him on the streets, be like, "Oh, hey, aren't you the one that messed up that pass?" Because Duke had a great season. They were 35-2 before this game. Like I said, they're the number 1 seed. And as we all know, we already mentioned it, Duke will be back next year. But as I mentioned it, I'm not going to have them. I'm not going to have them going to the championship. I'm not going to have them winning it. So,
and also I will say this: if you're like, and I don't think it's the kid's fault for this bad play. You were up by 15 against UConn, and you did not like throttle that fucking game. You should be throttling them. You should not be like, well, I guess we'll take a back seat. We'll go 80%. You should be on their throats and beat them by 20.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Duke should have won this game by, like you said, Stu, 20, if not If it's going to be a close game, Duke should have won by 5.
Tennessee game where you're just
Yeah.
like, they didn't like just like, well, we're playing against Tennessee. They're just mid. We're just going to go 80% this time. We're going to put the backbenchers. No, you put the throttle on this team.
Yeah, I guess it just shows that how hard and how true fighters of the Huskies from UConn are, and that should be a great final. It should be a great semifinal for the championship. Great Final Four matchup between UConn and Illinois. But yeah, unfortunately, sorry, Duke.
Unfortunately for the Dukes, they just got UConn'd.
Duke got UConn.
Duke got UConn indeed right over here. And now we got the matchup analysis. Woo! We got the picks. So we're going to start out with the 2 games preview right over here. We got UConn versus Illinois right over here. UConn, it's an interesting thing. They're the only blue bloods that's left. The only team that's always been consistent making it to the finals. They have won back-to-back national championships a couple years ago. Didn't do it last year. Against Illinois, first time in 21 years that they made a Final Four in March Madness. They made it to the finals, never won a national championship in their entire program history. So who are you going to pick?
I'm picking UConn. I mean, obviously previous games don't matter because you want to focus on the game at hand, the current game. But if UConn can come back from 15 down against the best team in the country, I'm gonna pick UConn to beat the Illini. It should be a good matchup. I expect it to be close. I hope that the basketball gods of college basketball don't make it a blowout game because we want to see a good set of Final Four matchups between UConn and Illinois, and then Arizona, Michigan. Don't let this be a blowout. I want UConn though. Make it a close one, but make it UConn.
I think I'm gonna hate to say it, Christopher. I agree with you. I think UConn got this. I know everyone's saying Arizona, Michigan, that whoever wins it is going to win the national championship. If UConn wins this game, I'm not going to put 100% on that one because UConn finds ways to win games. They always find ways. This is a mind you, they are players in this team that has won a national championship. Illinois does not have that. Michigan does not have that.
UConn's got
Arizona does not have that. They have veterans. You know what I mean? They're the only blue bloods that is left in this one.
Yeah, I mean the Big Ten, they have Illinois on one side of the bracket, then they have Michigan on the other side. Obviously, you guys, we all know I'm an Ohio State fan, product of Ohio State, and I don't want Illinois to win. I want UConn to win this game.
Oh yeah, I want UConn to win.
But then on the other side, but what I'm basically going off here is like if the Big Ten, if one of these teams doesn't make it to the championship. Like I said, the Big Ten, we've been shown now. We've been the strong horse in this tournament so far. If we don't get one of the Big Ten representatives in the championship, I don't know.
Yes, but I figure we can probably talk about the other game right over here, Christopher. We have Arizona versus Michigan. Arizona, first time since in 25 years that they made the Final Four. It's been since 1997 since the last time they've won a national championship. Michigan has made the finals. Last time they made the Final Four was 2018. Last time they won a national championship was 1989.
My sister was born in 1989.
Yes, but I will say this. I will say this, Christopher. I know they made it in 2018, and maybe Douglas, you may be shocked when I'm listening. I think this Michigan team is better than the 2013 Michigan team and the 2018 Michigan team. I think I'm going to say it. Just because I felt like 2018, I felt like it was a lot more like a lot of teams failed, and they just had an easy ride to the end until the finals. So, but...
Say it, Stu. Say it. Say it.
Who do I think is going to win this one? This is tough because both teams have been dominant. Both teams have been good. Both teams have not been slacking.
Say it, Stu. Say it.
I'm going Arizona.
That's why we need Doug here because I'm picking Michigan. I know.
Yeah, Doug would probably pick Michigan all the way. I think Doug would probably say, Michigan.
Yeah, so we would know. Yeah, we know where Doug would go, so we already have his vote. Like I said, Duke was the best team, the number one seed overall. But a lot of people have been saying that Arizona's the close number one, probably the second best team, if not the best team. Arizona should be the best team remaining, but I mentioned on one of our podcasts, maybe not last week, but maybe the previous week, I think Michigan's size is just too much. They have Mara, the center. He's 7'1", 7'2", something like that. He's just too dominant. He has, I won't say great ball handling skills, but he knows when he gets the ball, he knows how to put it off the glass into the hoop. I'm not saying he's going to drain threes. Michigan has great passing. They have Mara in the center. He's just pretty much, now I'm going to say unstoppable, but he knows how to get boards. He knows how to, like I said, put the ball in the hole. If there's going to be one blowout, it's going to be this game between the two semifinal games. This might be a blowout. I don't want it to be, but I know, sir, you picked Arizona, but I'm going to say Michigan by 7. Michigan by 7.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be a neck and neck.
Well, see, here's the thing. I know Doug in our group text, he's even told us, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but Michigan, they're just completely demolishing their opponents. They're scoring basically, I know it says 87.7 points a game right there. But let's see, real quick, looking at it, Michigan scored in the first round 101 points. I know it was against Howard. 95 points in the second round. 90 points in the Sweet 16. 95 points in the Elite 8. So they're definitely averaging 90, 95 points roughly in this tournament. And then defensive wise, the most points they've given up is 80, and that was the first round.
Right. You convinced me I'm going Michigan.
I didn't want to convince you. I don't want to change your mind. I'm just saying why I'm picking the Wolverines.
Fine. Just because the consistency. All right.
I'm not saying Arizona's inconsistent, but I just think Michigan's all right. Anyways, so we both picked UConn. I picked Michigan. I kind of convinced you to pick Michigan. So UConn versus Michigan. The championship game's on Monday. We do our podcast on Tuesday. Who's going to hoist the trophy? Who's going to have the confetti blow down on them? UConn or Michigan?
UConn.
Nice. UConn. I like it. I know if Doug was here, he'd probably obviously say Michigan. And like I said, I like Michigan. I like their basketball team. Okay, I don't like Michigan, but I like their basketball team this year. I got to rephrase that before people use those words against me.
Yeah. I'm gonna record that.
Chris, you stood on April 2nd. You like Michigan.
No. They're gonna use that against me. No.
Well, yes, sir. I like what you're saying. I like what you're saying. UConn versus Michigan. I like UConn over Michigan is what I meant to say. So yeah, I pick UConn over Michigan. Let's go Huskies. Monday night. Cut those nets for the Huskies. Let's do it.
Woohoo! And then I'll be like, in your face, Douglas. And then you'll be like,
yeah, right. If Michigan wins or Michigan loses, we might not see him on Tuesday during the podcast. We'll see.
I'll be like, hey, where's Douglas at right now in the podcast?
But hey, Michigan football, they won a championship a couple years ago. Let's see if they can do it in basketball this year. But yeah, go Huskies. I want to. Like I said, Arizona, their predominant color is blue. And I was looking at a little statistics today. I think 16 out of the last 18 champions college basketball have had blue. Illinois, their main color is orange. Michigan, obviously, we know their main color is, I know it's go blue, but is their main color blue or is it maize?
But I don't know. I don't think the colors really freaking matter.
Yeah, colors don't matter. It's based on the team.
Let's look at the Super Bowl team. It was the Seattle Seahawks, and the colors were aligned to like the Ravens, and they didn't do shit in the fucking. They didn't even make the postseason.
Heck yeah, but so we're picking UConn against Illinois or UConn over Illinois. And then we're picking Michigan over Arizona, and then we're picking UConn to beat Michigan in the championship game.
Yeah, in your face, Douglas. You can't be in this podcast now like to talk shit about your Wolverines. But anyway, that is it for this week. Christopher, do you have any final thoughts on this podcast?
No. Go Huskies. Let's go. Cut those nets down. Let's go UConn. Stuart,
Yeah.
what are your
Cut
final
those
thoughts over here?
Cut those nuts down indeed. And now that is it for this week's podcast. Next week, we're going to talk about the Final Four games right over here and the national championship right over here. This will probably be a shorter podcast. And then next week, we might talk about some hockey because this has been an interesting hockey season at the end, closing end. So as always,
the Eastern Conference hockey, NHL, man, it's getting a tight race for the final wild card
4 or
spot.
5 teams are literally 1 points behind each other. Is like for like one spot. Like the margin of error is like almost zero.
I love hockey. Hockey's my favorite sport, and I've never been more excited in my life for some NHL playoff. And hopefully the Blue Jackets can squeeze into those playoffs. But
you know what I gotta say? Go Blue Jackets, that is. Yeah. But anyway, gentlemen, and Christopher right over here, that is it for this week's podcast. As always, I'm going to catch you later, Mr. Gator. So as always, take care. Bye-bye.